Walter Hill, like, he saw this. He had this vision for how he saw the character of Cody to be. Like, he saw the vision of him being like a edgy looking guy, but also handsome, but also action hero-y, but not too muscly.
Stoic but soft.
Right, but like, and I think this was also like, unfortunately, what happened in this era of filmmaking is that this is when Hollywood and like audiences fall in love with like an action star that's like.
Let's do this, Gretchen.
Let's boogie.
Hey. We're back.
We're back.
And as it turns out, we've watched another movie.
Or 2 or 3 or 4.
Or a couple. Absolutely. Yeah, so this is season 2.
Season 2.
Which is an arbitrary thing because we started in January of last year. So when we crossed into January of this year, it became the 1 year mark.
Oh, wow. Congratulations to us.
Yeah.
We made it to 1 year.
We have made it to 1 year.
Yay.
Absolutely. And we've had many different backgrounds and
Nothing
places
is
where
permanent.
we recorded. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I like this space. Honestly, I think it's really pretty. I do miss our brick studio space, but yeah this place is nice.
I miss that brick background too. It's a swingers club now.
Lord.
It went from being a
multicultural,
multicultural center that focused on at-risk youth and formerly incarcerated adults to being part of the swingers club. So, it's
Portland.
This is it's evolution. This is the Darwin's Finches of Portland businesses.
Wow.
Yeah. So with that,
we're talking about a fantasy. I was trying to find a way to bring that in together, but I mean, I guess this is the way to do it. We're going to talk about a rock and roll fantasy movie.
Yeah, we are. Oh, is it a rock and roll fantasy?
Yeah, it's a fairy tale if you think about it.
Oh, okay. Well, this is actually, what film are we talking about?
We're talking about Streets of Fire, 1984, a Walter Hill film, which is, he's renowned for Warriors and Red Heat, I think, in 48 Hours.
Yeah, he did both 48 Hours films. Yeah, Red Heat. It was all sorts in there.
He's a all over the place director, but this was something kind of built out of his desire, right? This is his own project. It's written by him, and I think his writing partner, Larry Cross, I think is his name.
This was his American Graffiti.
Yeah. This was going to be his American Graffiti, honestly.
Yeah.
Like but I think that also it's supposed to be transcendent of time. And we'll get into that as to why he was making those motions.
Okay, that's good to know. We're definitely going to be getting into that because I had questions. Yeah. And so those questions are going to come with answers because this is the Check the Gate podcast where Gretchen and I watch a movie and then we get together and we talk about it, but we never know where the discussion is going to go. And holy cow, this film, and dare I say, I don't know if I want to say cameos. They're not cameos because people weren't famous yet, but man, this film
there's only one cameo technically.
Is that okay? There's one technical, but this film is littered with people who go on to be famous.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Starting with our principal cast. So we have Diane Lane. Like, this is her first film, right?
Diane Lane.
I think that this might be her first film. If not, it's
somewhere close.
It's somewhere close, but she's like, she was playing children before she was this. This was like she turned 18 on set kind of situation.
Yeah, and she'd been in theater prior to this. Right. I know she had been on stage at like age 7, but I think that, this was, like, if nothing else, is the first thing she's like one of the stars of.
And this is also Willem Dafoe's first Hollywood film. He was in another film before this. This is not his first film. It's his second film. But it's his first Hollywood film. His first film being Sleepless is a Catherine Bigelow film. Yeah,
and that's going to have to be one. That I've never actually seen that
I've watched it because I was like, I have to. I just need to see. It's basically a huge, she's taking a big shot doing that film. But we'll get into that later. Also, we have Rick Moranis
Same year as Ghostbusters, two diametrically opposed characters in this.
Right?
I mean, dressed the same, but otherwise, holy cow, Rick Moranis in this thing was crazy.
I know. I wanted to use him as a punching bag throughout this entire film.
Oh, man.
We have Amy Madigan.
Yes,
which is
fabulous.
She's now famous now for her role in Weapons.
Yeah.
And we have Bill Paxton.
Yep, Bill Paxton, who
he has a small role,
still
but he's
miss him.
Yeah, but
so
he's such a great
much.
character in this. Like
Yeah.
he's a cafe. He's like a
Yeah, he's a bartender.
Also, not to like leave him out, but like our hero or our anti-hero, Michael Paré. I have trouble saying his name is Paré. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So Michael Paré, he's really famous for Eddie and the Cruisers. This is being his secondary film, and I feel like I really liked him in Bad Moon. I know that's not a great film. I like werewolf films.
I haven't seen
so
that one.
I really like him in that one. It's a great one.
Interesting.
And then also this has Robert Townsend in it.
There's a whole bunch like that. We're going to talk about
And
the Sorrells. Yeah.
The Sorrells are so good. And then Lee Ving is in this. Now, I know who Lee Ving is. I don't know, like, he's not a common person, but he is the lead singer of the band Fear.
Okay,
Like,
nice.
Have you ever heard Fear?
So, Fear. So
That's the New
why did I think,
York's alright.
Why was I thinking that that the Judas Priest singer was the singer of Fear, or did it swap at some point in time?
Did you think that Rob Halford was in Fear?
I thought Rob Halford.
No, it's is it Halford?
Halford, something like that. Yeah, we know who we're talking about. He must have been in a different band. He had some, oh wait, was his called Fight?
Something like
His
that.
alternate one was called Fight. That's what it was.
Lee Ving is has been the lead singer of Fear. Like he's still the lead singer of Fear.
Yeah.
Like they've been around forever.
Yeah.
And he's fantastic in this, but we'll get into all that stuff later. But that's our main like swooping cast, I'd say. Of
I got to throw one more in.
Oh, please.
So you did bring up Robert Townsend, which is really great. But in the same group, the Sorrells.
Yeah.
I believe his name is Grant Bush. Is in there. He's the guy that's one of the agents that's in Die Hard.
You're right.
He's one of the two agents.
You're right. And he's also in
he pops up in all sorts of
he's a
little things from time to
character
time. Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't he also in like just like random shows like ER and things like
right,
that?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's like the 1 or 2 episode guy on TV.
Okay.
He's still doing stuff. He's like built a whole career from the 80s of being that person.
Yeah.
Like that. Yep.
Which I think there's a few of those, especially.
Oh,
especially in
absolutely.
this film. There is a cameo that is kind of fun that we should point out ahead of time. It's Ed Begley Jr.
Yeah. So was Ed Begley a name back then?
No,
I didn't think it was.
He's kind of.
Yeah.
But like,
because that's crazy. He's a homeless guy that pops up.
Guy. He's just so random as far as the
so
characters.
random.
But yeah, that's a true cameo of sorts. He was like the only person.
Because he had like solid lines in there.
Yeah.
Even Robert Townsend isn't even kind of in a cameo status or anything. Like he's kind of second banana to the person who's the lead singer of the Sorrells.
But he's so notable that you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't miss Robert Townsend. Oh, boy.
Yeah, this movie's crazy. Well, there was also the person that I pointed out. I didn't remember their name, but you did. The guy who was the mutant in The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, Michael Barrymore.
Michael Barrymore, yeah. He's on a motorcycle in the game, in the gang.
I didn't even notice him.
Yeah.
I don't even think I've seen him in the credits, honestly. I'm like, I can't even picture him.
I'll bet he's uncredited. It's like blink and you'll miss him is his character name.
Wow. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this film is considered a rock and roll fable.
Mm-hmm.
It's a blending of like 1950s aesthetic with like 1980s kind of punk style. Walter Hill was writing this story while he was shooting 48 Hours. So he was like coming up with this idea, and he had like this kind of image in his head of like he wanted to have like a trilogy of films. Mm-hmm. So like this was going to be like a trilogy series. He was kind of selling that point of like we're going to do 3 films. I think their names were the Far City and Cody's Return after this one.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like kind of going out and like where the travels take him and McCoy, where Cody and McCoy go off in the end of the first movie. That we're going to be like the Far City, and then we're going to come back to it in the third film. But it didn't happen.
Did it just not make enough money for them to justify it?
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, it had some hits about the film, but it's got a cult status now as opposed to like where it never really had that opportunity to kind of get to the level of like where it should have been. It didn't do very well in the box office. It went up against Buckaroo Banzai, which did really well. Like really.
Did Buckaroo Banzai do well in the theater?
Weirdly, yes.
I did not remember that being the case. I've always assumed that was like a B-movie underdog film.
I guess it wasn't.
Oh, man.
They apparently did better than this film.
Wow.
But my favorite is like, I love the tagline of this film. It's like, tonight is what it means to be young. That's the tagline of the movie.
Yeah.
It's a very sweet sentiment. And so we kind of sets us up with this, like, we have our, I'm not going to spend too much time, like, going over the story because the story is so thin.
Yeah.
It is, like, it is the most predictable plot, but it has just some really fun aspects to it. And I watched a few like making of and like how like the character interactions were, or how the actors interacted with one another off scene. And apparently Rick Moranis was kind of a prick.
Oh, no.
Yes.
I didn't know that because he's known for being such a nice guy.
He did not like Michael Paré, apparently. He was like, are you trying to be cool? You look like you're trying to be cool. And teased him the entire movie.
Who teased who?
Rick Moranis teased Michael Paré.
Wait, what?
Was bullying him.
That's why I had to ask. That didn't make sense.
I know. But if, like, you think about it, like, I guess Rick Moranis at this time was, like, what? Like, probably a bit more of a star.
Well, he was a name because he had already had SCTV, and Bob and Doug McKenzie were known. And,
Take off,
absolutely. Yeah.
Which I just watched Strange Brew, by the way.
Oh.
I had never seen it. And that was like one of those rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Like, it was gloriously dumb.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
It's pretty
dumb. My goodness.
Take off, eh?
Oh, it was always dumb. It was never meant to be anything else. But I mean, that had Max von Sydow in that thing.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Max von Sydow looks crazy
Brewing,
in that.
is that right? It was Elsinore Brewing.
Yes,
is that the brewery that they like are getting?
And Max von Sydow's head like is too big for his body in that movie. Yeah. I don't know what's happening there. It's just so many wild things. Anyways. Typical us.
And with Rick Moranis in 1984, this is the same year the Ghostbusters come out. So
wasn't Little Shop of Horrors also before this?
Oh my goodness, Little Shop of Horrors is somewhere right in that same time too.
Gotta be, right? Like
it's gotta be super close.
Maybe 85. I don't know.
It's in that same time period. Like this is definitely a Rick Moranis time. He is not an unknown person.
Yeah.
At all.
Anyways, he's apparently a very big bully to Michael Paré on the entire film. To the point of like all of their on-screen chemistry is because they're like
really button heads.
And Paré was like, after this, he was like, I will never work with another comedian ever again.
Whoa.
No, I thought that was pretty telling. And everybody thinks like Rick Moranis is a sweetheart. I mean, he is from everything else I've seen, but I guess this one particular guy rubbed him the wrong way.
Interesting.
That's everything I looked to see if it was like reciprocated, but apparently Michael Paré would try to be like, nope, I'm just not going to give in to this. And then they almost got into a fist fight right before one of their scenes.
Wow.
He was like saying that he was saying to him the kind of things that if he had said to him outside of this, he would have beat the crap out of him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask about, so not that any of it is justified.
No.
But we're going to get into this film a lot more, talk about certain things where we don't ever do like the scene breakdowns or anything, but Michael Paré is not a great actor. Like, he's not a good actor in this thing.
I don't think he's a bad actor. I just think that
he's very early in his career. And
well, what was going on at the time is like they were looking for like Walter Hill. Like he saw this, he had this vision for how he saw the character of Cody to be like, Tom Cody, Tom Cody. Anyways, he saw the vision of him being like a like edgy looking guy, but also handsome, but also action hero-y, but not too muscly.
Stoic but soft.
Right, but like, and I think this was also like, unfortunately, what happened in this era of filmmaking is that this is when Hollywood and like audiences fall in love with like an action star that's like,
oh yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like
right.
you said, with Red Heat was one of the films that he did. Like that's the kind of films that Walter Hill was also making, was like tough guy shoot 'em up things.
And I think that or like audiences and our at the time were very like, they were drawn to a more like this is like, we're post Vietnam War, where like we want an action hero, a true American hero style character, and right. I think that this kind of fell short of that, and I don't think that was the intention either. I think that this was supposed to be like, he was supposed to be kind of a enigma, like a loner that comes back. And that's kind of where we start off, is like he's a soldier, right? Mm-hmm. that has a past in this town, mm-hmm. the town of.
Yeah, his sister's still there. She works at the diner.
Yeah. What's the name of the town?
Did they give us a name of the town?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
I don't remember them ever saying the name of the town.
No.
It just seemed like any city USA.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the intention too, because like that's why we have the most beautiful set that mm-hmm. I've seen in a long time. Like,
I wanted to know what the deal was with
that.
So
there was, he wanted,
it reminded me of West Side Story.
That was kind of the idea. Like he wanted to have this like fabled town, mm-hmm. right? So that's why those aesthetics are so interplay in this. Like you have mm-hmm. like a little bit of that 50s look, and like everybody has like, their style is a little bit like greasery /
oh yeah like, especially with the Ry Cooder stuff.
Yes, like the rockabilly look mixed with like a 80s, like, as I said earlier, like
lots
an
of
80s
punk like
aesthetic.
Like latex or vinyl kind of clothing and whatnot mixed in with there. Willem Dafoe's
poor Willem,
his
that suit,
Haley Hansen fisherman's bibs that he's wearing while shirtless.
Funny thing about that is that him and Michael would like basically like do like a bar press like really fast before they went on stage, before they went on set, just so they could look more muscular and pumped up in the pictures. Yeah. Because I mean, like, look at Willem Dafoe. He is like pale, like as the driven snow, pale, and he's just like a kind of a wiry fella, and So going back to like the setting, the scenery and whatnot, is that they blacked out, like they created a fake sky with that. So that's all done with like black tarps and neon lighting, and there was a horrible windstorm happening at the same time during a lot of parts of the shooting, so that kind of was like flapping around the edges of things, and like when it was raining in the set, and so there were these, he had created like this kind of like like a dream of a land. Yeah. Like that's kind of the vibe that you're having, is like, this is almost something kind of like in a dream that you would have, like just because it has so many fragmented aspects of it. That's how, at least how I see it personally, like how the way that the set was so like, everything was really close, but also like far away feeling. And then you have like the diner, and then you have like the signage and the neon. And I feel like that was kind of being, the idea being a kind of a dream almost. And that's what makes this a fantasy and a fable and a story, as opposed to like we're watching an event. Yeah. This is more of a story that we're reading or listening to, because it is intrinsically a rock and roll musical.
Oh, absolutely. With that ending we get.
Oh my gosh. We'll so you do know the reason why it's called Streets of Fire, right?
No, I don't.
So this was built around the idea that Bruce Springsteen's Streets of Fire song was going to be the end song.
Did they think they were going to get the rights to
they
that
thought
one?
They were, and they had locked them down, and then, things happen.
Not so much.
Things don't always work out. But they got the amazing Dan Hartman song, I Dream About You, which became a like chart-busting song.
It did, which is why I have so many questions about this, because it's so out of place, because that's the Sorrells doing this 1950s version of this song that is not a 1950s song. No. It was very contemporary.
Very 80s.
Yeah, so I was like, wait, what? I thought, no, is this they didn't remake this one. This was original. Yeah. So now I know.
That's they had to get a hit kind of thing. And I think that, I mean, it was, even though, yes, in all hindsight, Streets of Fire, is that the name of the song by Bruce Springsteen? Pretty sure. Yeah. I'm not a huge Bruce Springsteen.
I'm not a Springsteen fan. I
don't
don't know
come for
all
me,
of his
please.
stuff.
Please, fan base.
I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying that he's not always.
He's got a lot of fans.
Speaking,
he doesn't.
Yeah.
I like a lot of songs he's written, and like
he seems to be a great person.
He is.
I'm happy to hang out with him.
But I just don't know. I'm not a fan enough to know his music on any level that is. I can talk academically.
He did a music video with Courtney Cox.
See, I don't even know that. I don't even know that. So yeah, talking about the music. So wow, so much love has gone into making this movie's music.
Yeah.
Gosh, I was reading that to make the voice of Ellen Ames' character is 2 women actually.
Oh, okay.
That they've layered their vocals. That's why her voice has this like transcendent kind of like bigger than life sound. Like they use it's Laurie Sargent layered with Holly Sherwood, and they call themselves Fire Incorporated.
Oh,
interesting.
And
they were only created specifically for this they created this group. It's actually not even a real group, but if you look up the music for this movie on Spotify, it's Fire Incorporated. And so it's all her songs that are sung that she sings, that are sung by those 2 women. And it's just like so many thoughtful choices, setting, character selection, the way that the characters are drawn, or not drawn, but like created, like their costuming is intentional. Everything is intentional.
Oh, very much so.
Even like down to like Cody's sister.
Yeah.
Which is a very famous actress that I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Right, she's been in a ton
and everybody
of stuff
knows
as well.
her, and she was a big crush on everybody. Had a big crush on her at the time as well. Unfortunately, if memory fades me at this point.
Yeah, and so you're throwing another character in there. You actually just reminded me of the character. So Baby Doll, the very short blonde woman in there with the pink.
Yes, I love her.
You know who she is?
She's Dottie.
She's Dottie in
Pee-wee's Adventure.
She's
Pee-wee's
also she's Dottie's. That's right, Pee-wee's girlfriend in that. And then she's also doesn't have any lines, but she's the singer of the band in Better Off Dead.
That's right. Yeah.
She sings in real life the song Better Off Dead.
She
performed that one. She's a singer.
Pushed to make that character less of a because originally that character was kind of written as a like. Kind of to be kind of just like a fangirly off to the side, but she actually gave that character a little bit more heart.
Yeah.
And that was, there was a few people that did things like that. Like, okay, talking about that, Amy Madigan, right? Her character, she originally auditioned to be the sister, but then fell in love with the character of McCoy and was like, hey, I think I could play this character. This doesn't need to be a dude. And the whole set, like apparently her audition was so amazing that the rest of the actors were like, this only makes sense for McCoy to be Amy Madigan.
Yeah.
And I really liked Amy Madigan in this.
I think she's amazing.
I would never have
She's
known
so
this was
good.
supposed to be a man if they had, unless I had done the behind the scenes stuff.
Right.
Honestly, I thought that she was I thought she was a lesbian, but
the only reason I would have guessed that it could have been written originally as a male character is because Michael Paré doesn't hook up with her. Cody's character doesn't hook up with her, and the whole time, because there's the old flame that Cody has with Diane Lane's character that gets like briefly rekindled, and then he kind of does the walk away from it at the end.
Casablanca style, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I was also
I told you it's a thin plot.
Yeah. Oh, there is. But it is the Casablanca thing. But I was also thinking that it was Pork Chop Express. So what's his name? Burton.
Oh, Jack Burton.
When Jack Burton, it's like, aren't you gonna kiss her, Jack? Nah. I don't think so. And then just like walks away, just walks out of her life. And that's kind of that's the way this one felt too. It was like, oh, that was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was like, well, wait a minute. Why is he hooking up with her? That's the ex and she's with Rick Moranis and not that good. But
because you're only young tonight.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, there's so many great things about this film. I mean, I get it. It is silly. But like, and the plot is kind of like, girl meets boy, they break up. Girl gets new boy, and that is willing to help her further her career. And
girl gets kidnapped
by
biker gang.
Right. I think that there was intended that they had been a couple at one point.
Was there intention behind that?
I think that was. If I remember properly, like there was like some history that they were.
It's not in the story. It's not in the film.
Oh well, maybe
because when she's tied up, he had just said, it would just be better for you if you just followed along, just played along with this, act like you're enjoying it. In a couple of days, I let you go, and we all forget about this.
Oh, that's right. I love the punk club though. There's a really great scene in the punk club.
The rockabilly. It's like a rockabilly punk club.
But
because that's where Ry Cooder is. Oh yes, the dancer.
So she is
Lordy
famous.
Ooh, oh yeah.
She is apparently a very famous like French choreographer.
Oh.
I was like, I wouldn't have known that until I was like IMDb. Like who? At first I thought it was a man. And so it took me a minute to realize. I was like, oh wait, this is actually a woman. And,
yeah.
I mean, she's a very, very slight woman.
Oh, she's like a ballet dancer build. Like she's very thin, very thin. Yeah, very strong. There's a lot of like but very small person.
Martin,
what did I do?
Strong. She's a muscular lady.
I have a type.
I know. Oh, well.
You know this is staying in the edit, right?
Oh, yeah? Oh, boy. Whew. I derailed myself. Oh. No, but like they're...
Next week's film is Pumping Iron.
Caged Heat.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Martin and Gretchen review all of Sybil Danning's films.
Right? The punk club. Rockabilly club. Yeah. That I just love that that like overly overwrought like this is a seedy bar look, and just how everybody's like fighting and cussing and drinking and throwing bottles.
There's so many people jammed in there too on top of each other. It looks like a farce of trying to be one. Like I expected Mel Brooks to be.
Almost like a Muppet Show.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But I think that's how tight, and that's part of like why I think that's like
the
part
wildness of it all.
The imagery of this.
Yeah, the chaos.
Right? Is that we're like, because we have like on that side of town where the bombers hang out, versus like the other side of town where everybody else is like going to the like singing at the club and things like that. It's like all like bombastically neon and like brand new and modern, like versus like this very 50s greasery, like kind of dirty, hingy like club aesthetic. Like I think that those are kind of part of, again, that mashup of like imagery that Walter Hill was going for. There's, to me, those are the things that make this film so beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, personally,
it is a beautiful film.
I think it's, I mean, there's very few times I feel like we watch a film and I'm like, wow, this isn't very beautiful. But this is stunning, and it's so thoughtful. I think that, there's something to be said for vanity projects and whatnot. And it's not necessarily this is a vanity project in the purest form, because he's not in it and not.
I think it's a passion project, but not a vanity.
But a passion project is always like thoughtful, even if it's not intended for the audience. But I think that he really wanted to create like kind of his own Eddie and the Cruisers a little bit, because when he saw Michael Paré and Eddie and the Cruisers. Even though he had Eric Roberts was the last person cast for this role, and he ended up walking away from the project. But they had asked for they looked at like Tom Cruise and other people for this character.
Yeah.
And but when he saw his performance in Eddie and the Cruisers, the fact that he sang his own music and was like playing instruments and had this like softness, but also this like, because Michael Paré is really handsome, like very pretty,
Very much so.
He's a very pretty aesthetic, as well as like, but he's not like he's not so rugged that you're like, he's not a Harrison Ford. And there's like, there is that contention because the properties, they were like worried about him being too Harrison Fordy because he has a little bit of that edgy, like love him or leave him attitude kind of that was pretty common in those anti-hero type characters. But he fell in love with him and was like, this is perfect. He even was not even like, there was no screen test, there was no audition. He asked him to be in the role.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
when
huge.
He saw it.
Yeah.
So I think Walter Hill like had a lot of intention with how his casting was. I mean, I know he wasn't exactly the casting director, but like he's part of that, right? So he ultimately put this cast together, and everybody just works so well together. It feels right. I mean, the chemistry between Amy Madigan and Michael Paré, like she works off of him so well because she makes him look kind of soft.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah. She's a great character.
She's
super tough.
Fucking
oh, absolutely.
Strong. I loved her character. I was laughing when
yeah.
I first, I was like, is she gay? And
Right.
Yeah, no. This is, I watched this first with my boyfriend, and it was, so it was really funny. Like, I was like texting him, like, there's a gay? Like, I don't know. And then she said something about a man, and I was like, oh, never mind.
Nope. She's just tough.
She's just a tough lady.
Yep.
Which was great. I mean, it's so good. It's so thoughtful. I know. So what are your problems with it?
Well, so I want to actually continue on with where you're talking about this stuff because, like, I really enjoyed watching this film a lot. I can't say that this film has like a repeat viewing like some films that I fall in love with, but there's so much truth that you're saying about this, about the intentionality and the passion project of it. I don't remember what the budget was on this one. I don't remember it being very big, but they did quite a bit with it. And again, back to your intentionality with things, because especially with the costumes and how people looked, when they're in the biker bar and Roy Cooter is performing and everybody's fighting and they're womanizing and they're doing all their stuff, that whole thing is extremely well lit. There is no bar that has a ceiling in there that's that high and is that well lit where you can see everything that's going on in there. The bars don't do that. That's not what a bar is. There's no bar that is that well lit. But there was intention behind that because he wanted to show either the chaos or the antics or just all of the things, or just the fact that this was a really large group, even if it wasn't the one gang, just like all the bad elements and everything were all there. He wanted you to see all of that stuff. There is, so from a technical standpoint, there is no real depth of field in the lens in which somebody is in sharp focus and then a lot of things are falling off in out of focus in it. This everything is kind of in focus, but you're meant to be looking at things. So like when we're toward the end, we're in the big, well, even before we're at the end, but just all of the stuff that happened in that neighborhood block where the big standoff ends up happening.
Everything's like this. It feels like you're right there.
Yeah, you're right there. And when you're up, they have several shots where they've got these I say aerial shots, but these really high elevation shots, because you're kind of like under the highway pass, or there's some kind of a bridge or something that's going under there. So this is like the neighborhood that's under. It's like a Dumbo kind of a thing, like they're under part of the bridge or the highway or something.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's all these trusses that are all over there. Maybe it's an elevated train. So whatever that is, there's all of these big trusses that are up there that are built around the block, and they're all standing among them. The buildings are in there. Yeah. You've got the cafe, but then you've got all these other like higher tenement style buildings. And the thing is color plays a huge part of it, because when it's daylight out,
it's still dark.
It's still dark, but everything is in focus.
Yeah.
There is when you're down on the ground with them, when you're over here, when you're looking, everything has really deep focus. This guy's in focus and this stuff over here is still in focus. So the colors and the lines and the way they have it all staggered and set up keeps you interested in what you need to be interested in while the other stuff is still there. But they didn't play with like turning down the light, making it dark, getting a lens, making it shallow.
They did intention with it, right? So they did that's when I was talking about the tarp situation earlier, is that, so there's a noise ordinance in that near the studio backlot, because this was shot on the backlots. And they did a tarp that completely created a block. And so that's why you can't hear any like, or you have not hear. They were doing it to block out sound first, and then secondly to create a facsimile of a lighting, right? So like when they want it to be, it's a black tarp. So even in the daylight, it's still dark, but at night, the night shots they've added different directional lighting to simulate a darkness.
Right.
So those things were all intentional with that creation of like that fable kind of storytelling.
Right. And it's not shallow. Everything is always deep. It's always layered. Color and action all separate things.
Can you
there.
imagine getting to work around that kind of set, like walking through that set?
I would love to be able to work at that level, because the other part of that, and again, I don't remember what the budget was. It wasn't like a huge budget. I think he was working with bigger budgets when he had like 48 Hours and Red Heat and all of those. Those had bigger budgets, but those were also not as big a gambles. Like, this is a big gamble. This was a big swing, and that's the one thing that I really love about this, is that this was something he was passionate about. He believed in Michael Paré. He was giving a Diane Lane and a Willem Dafoe, like all of these people, parts where they are very, very early on in their career, and they're front and center on a lot of things.
See what they're going to become. I mean,
right?
Look at Willem Dafoe. This is like you can see the Green Goblin from.
I was gonna say I could see the Harry Osborn Goblin in that from that first Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Like, you can see it in there.
It has. Like, I got chills just saying that, because it's like wow. And this being his second film, essentially. Yeah. And it's crazy to me. Yeah. And he plays a character kind of similar to this in Sleepless. Sleepless? Anyway, Loveless?
Yeah. Sleepless. Well, and he's also in To Live and Die in L.A. I think he's a very similar bad guy in that one, if I remember right as well.
So he must have been like a little typecast for a moment.
Right.
But like, he plays that so well. His costuming was something else. So,
yeah, it
I remember my first laying eyes on that, like, that's rain slicker, like bondage fisherman.
Yeah, he's got the fisherman bibs on with no shirt. Yeah, that's all like black vinyl or black latex. Yeah, that was crazy. Yep.
Little Glenn Danzig happening there, little misfits.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Well, and a little bit of Jello Biafra with the hair.
Yeah,
the way it's got the little scoop around the front.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to love about this film, and while I do think that there are stilted performances in here. Sometimes that happens when you don't get a lot of time, like you're running behind schedule or something's happened, because there's a lot of like big explosion, big stunts, the big showdown at the end with all of those bikers, all those motorcycles, and all those extras on all those motorcycles. There's like
that costuming was crazy.
Yeah.
By the way.
And there's like 80 people on motorcycles all underneath there. All of them have guns, and they're riding in there like weird Mad Max style, like they're on a big motorcycle chariot that one dude does. And yeah, they're all in like leather and latex and everything else.
So all of that leather, they distressed every single coat, every single piece of leather, every single piece was distressed. They ran the motorcycles through fire to like take some edge off of the paint. I mean, like, they did so much. They sandpapered every single one of the jackets. Yeah. Everything had to be built to make it look like it had been lived in. And that was like, they said that one of they were talking about, and the behind the scenes was that even the extras felt like they came to life more when they could move better in their leather because it was distressed already. Yeah. And so they embodied their characters better. That fight scene at the end was originally, I mean, I don't want to give too much, but it is like, originally it was supposed to be a knife fight.
Oh.
But they changed it to sledgehammers.
The big mallets, yeah. That was crazy.
Which, that to me even feels more fantastical, bringing out a freaking sledgehammer for a fight. I'm like, it becomes a ritual versus a, like, to the death situation.
Right.
Because originally I think that Willem Dafoe's character was supposed to like really hurt Cody badly, like was really supposed to like injure him like gravely.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, this doesn't really work story wise, and so they made this more of a ritual combat kind of situation.
Nice.
So
it
great.
Works.
It's so great.
It's really great.
I mean, there's just so much in this. I mean, the Diane Lane stuff, she is so innocent and beautiful and
she's
a brat.
Beautiful in this. Yeah, she's very bratty, very spoiled.
Well, she's selfish.
Yeah.
She wants to make something of herself.
Yeah.
And so, like, sometimes, like, you don't get to choose, like, and this is a sad truth, but, like, sometimes you have to make a choice if you want to do, like, if you want to make a thing happen like this. I mean, I guess, at least for this character, like, you have to make this choice where, you know, stay with the person that will help you further yourself, or be with the person that's kind of like you're at odds with.
Well, Cody walked away first.
He did.
So
yeah,
she was able to go off and go do whatever she wanted
to.
Yeah,
but like when they kind of come back, she was like a little bit like, oh, but, and then, yeah.
Always liking the bad boy.
Well, you know, they're fun.
Supposedly.
They have their time.
They have their time. There you go. Yeah. So
just like this. I'm not going to justify her actions or anything like that because she's a child, and so like she's making childish choices.
Oh, for sure.
And
well,
I mean, even at like being that she's trying to become something, and then like Rick Moranis' character has the ability to take her there, and he even says that. Like he's like, I have the ability.
Right.
And wow, what an unlikable character. The entire movie.
Yeah.
Like unlikable.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's so hard to see sweet little Rick Moranis as a bad guy.
I loved it. I thought it was so good to just watch him be totally different than we've ever seen him in anything. There was no Louis Tully in there whatsoever. It was zero, which speaks to his range.
Yeah. I guess we weren't expecting to have that kind of range.
I know, absolutely.
Were you shocked, like just shocked when you saw him as this? Because I know I was. I was like completely blown away.
Well, so when we first see him and when the biker gang comes in and takes Diane Lane, he gets kind of punched and thrown off of the stage. And I had kind of assumed that he was going to be participating in this film at about the same level as some of the other folks. I didn't expect him to be as prominent in here because I just thought, oh, we're probably not going to hardly see him again at all. And then he's in it the rest of the time, and he's a dick, and this is a businessman. So yeah, I was shocked when he pops back up and he's in here. And then even like every time I just kept thinking we're going to lose Rick Moranis at any point in time when he's hiring Cody with the $10K to go and get Diane Lane. I'm just like, all right, he's going to hire her and that's it. And now he's like, all right, and you're coming too. And I'm like, whoa, they're keeping this guy around. I'm really surprised. And so I just got more and more involved with Rick Moranis as it goes along.
And the cars are so good.
That's very much the 1950s feel. All of those, even the motorcycles. I don't know my motorcycles really well, especially from that era. I think they look like the Indian Motorcycle Corporation. I don't think they're Harleys, but they're those kind of styles. Yeah, it's quite the bikes. And you know that big sequence that they have at the end where they're fighting and they're running into motorcycles and knocking them over, like they're falling over the top of them. And I want to give credit to Michael Paré and Willem Dafoe. Those guys are having a pretty serious fight that in other ways would have been covered by stunt people. And there were probably some stunt swap outs in there, but there's a lot of what those guys are doing that's them.
That's why they were working out right before these time they went on the scene.
Yeah, and you can tell when they're swapping out for fake mallets and the live mallets, just in kind of the way that they're handling them and trying to make it act like it's heavy and trying to do like a fake swing that they know they have to catch a little bit. But they're still swinging, and there's like plenty of swings where they're swinging and missing, or they're swinging and meant to miss a person and then hit like a windshield or a car door. Like they're punching through this stuff, and again, punching each other, kicking each other, falling onto the motorcycles falling over with them falling on each other on top of it. And it's like, and those aren't stunts, guys. That's them. You'd never get away with that right now. You would have, if you had a John Wick moment like that, you would have Keanu Reeves falling on a stunt person who had no lines, in a fight like that.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, it's really impressive. Like, I'll tell you, you had asked about any type of issues or complaints. I do think Michael Paré's performance in like about 50% of this is pretty stilted. But again, I think some of that comes along from if you're in a hurry or you're behind budget or people are on a schedule or whatever, sometimes you just got to get on with it, and you got to
I think his dialogue was probably a little chunky.
Yeah, it's not the greatest writing, and some of the deliveries are a little bit awkward in there, but sometimes you got to move along. You get what you get. And again, this is a big swing film with a little bit of budget, and I'm all for it. I wish we did more of that. There is the whole middle part of this film is a crazy ride because
it's a chase kind of situation.
It's a chase with nobody chasing them.
Yeah.
I wondered if you realize that,
or
if anybody, like, they keep hearing that they're going to get chased, and they're running in and out of all of this stuff in these different places in part of town. We're going to ditch the car over here. We're going to go over to this thing. We're going to jump on the train, and we get the rig from the Sorrells, and then we're over here, and then we run into the cops.
They steal the rig from the Sorrells.
Right, and all this stuff happens, and we never, ever one time cut to Willem Dafoe and the bike gang, like tracking them down or like asking people or closing in or anything. There's nothing. It's like we're literally on some kind of a wild goose chase.
That's why I said the plot
nobody
is real thin,
chasing
Martin.
them. And so it really is. It's just like, I feel like, is this... there was a point where I'm like, this isn't about padding out the film. This is about introducing different parts of the city and other people in the city while these guys are, I'm on a mission.
It's intended to be a trilogy, right? Yeah. So it's intended to have, like, we're kind of supposed to come into this with there's going to be more to it, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is kind of one of the scenarios where we're coming into where he was intending it to be like, we were going to have a prequel later.
Oh, okay. That would have been interesting.
And so building up the character, like, it's an already introduced world. It's an already known universe to themselves, right? And so, like, the character Cody is somebody coming home. But we don't ever get, like, too much of a, like, exposition about his life prior to this, other than military and, like, their relationship very briefly.
And I'm fine with that, too.
Right. But I feel like we're kind of dropped into this mid, like, here we go. And ground running,
right?
Because the very beginning is his sister witnessing his ex-girlfriend being kidnapped, and then calls him to tell him to come home to help out.
Yeah,
and he was like, no, at first, which can you blame him?
Yeah,
and then he finally decides. Like, she talks him into it. And so I think that's what the part of the trilogy is going to be was that there was going to be like kind of a prequel and like that kind of exposition, which that's probably why there's some of those moments of like, we feel like we're like, are we missing a piece or something?
Well, yeah. Well, and I don't feel like it's missing it, but like literally the whole middle of the movie is we've got nothing to do. And so we're on the run from nothing. And it's fun. It's fun to watch because we really are watching like a group of, we're watching 4 people, briefly 5 people. Well, and then it turns into like 9 people when they get the Sorrells. Like, it's a fun little misadventure of a bunch of people bumping around town thinking they're running away from something. But in the end, they all just land back. But also trying
to find somebody too.
Who were they trying to find?
They're trying to find the girl.
Which girl?
They were trying to find Diane Lane's
character. Once they found her.
Oh, that part. Okay, that part.
After they get her, because they actually get her fairly quickly. And then once they're out, so then they're kind of on the run.
Yeah.
And so Cody says, "Go on ahead, meet me at this intersection. I'm gonna stick around and do stuff." He's blowing stuff up, mayhem. Okay, so this is one of those crazy parts. I get it. You got to have a film, but if you're gonna do it, like you could write something. He's shooting up like their little refuel terminals. They've got like all these like refueling stations. Stuff's blowing up that it doesn't even. It's like, why is that thing exploding? But he's
Napalm.
like, he's shooting their bikes with his rifle, and the bike is blowing into flames, and then it goes up on a ramp. Like, it's all classic 80s stuff exploding. Like, people are blowing up all over the place. Guys are clearly riding into a motorcycle that they could avoid that is crashed, so that then they crash and it throws them. I mean, the stunts were ridiculous, but like all this stuff's blowing up and on fire. Like, there's 20 dead people around here at a minimum.
It's called Streets of Fire.
And then Willem Dafoe comes walking out of the fire, and Michael Paré still got like guns all over him. Willem Dafoe standing there with nothing but his little fishy bibs on.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm coming for you. And he's like, you know why I'm not? And like, because I'm the guy with the gun. And I'm just like, I know the movie needs to go on, but give me a reason. Give me a reason to not shoot Willem Dafoe. Give me any reason. But they didn't give a reason. He just didn't do it. He's killed all of these people. He's blown up all of this shit. There's an entire block on fire. And he's like, nah, I'm going to let the guy go who's literally saying he's going to come after me now. Mm-hmm. And we're going to spend the next 40 minutes on the run from someone that we never see. So it's like, just give me a reason that you didn't shoot him. You shot everybody else. You lit it all on fire.
He's a gentleman.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. It was that I mean, because I get that whole like hero standoff thing.
Yes.
But just like give me a couple of lines.
Yeah.
I just wanted something. We could have, yeah. So,
like I said, that's the reason why I didn't do too much plot discussion, is because it's a very,
it's thin, but it's still
so
fun.
Good.
It's still fun.
It's a joy to watch filmmaking like this.
Yeah.
And
because you can't do it anymore.
We don't. And I hate that we keep saying this every time we do one of our episodes. They don't make films like this anymore, but they don't. And that's probably why we should be talking about these films and discussing these films, is because I feel like our audiences don't, especially new audiences, don't know origins of things, because all we're getting is regurgitated properties at this point. Very few original stories. That's getting a little bit better and better, but a lot of times it's regurgitated properties. And so I would never want to see this film remade. I would love to see the other two stories that he was intending.
We could prequel this and make it a franchise.
I mean, literally.
We could this should be a Disney Plus series. I think you could do this. Put it on Hulu.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, good, because I hate series. I mean, I do like one series. I watched a series recently that I was like, okay, I love this. But yeah, no, I think that, like, going back to what we were saying about, not making films like this anymore, it's like, I think that the reason for what we do this, like talking about this on the show in general, is like letting people get to explore films that they may not have heard of or seen, or like hadn't had a chance to, or it's on a list kind of thing. But if it's on your list, watch it. Honestly, this is a joy to watch. It is, you don't take it too seriously. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's meant to be very fun and just kind of getting lost in a story that is a very mild story, but getting lost in this fantasy of, music and like just amazing costuming and set work and beautiful art. I mean, some of the paintings in this are just stunning. It's just beautiful art in a lot of ways. And we have had films that we've talked about in the past that have been like gorgeous and whatnot, but I feel like this one stands out a lot of ways for me because, again, it's bringing in music, and I'm personally very intrinsically tied to music. I'm a former singer, and I just really love to to watch movies that integrate music as part of the plot of the movie, Absolutely.
Oh yeah. We mentioned it before just in passing, but the huge musical aspect of this. Again, Ry Cooder is all over this. His music and his like rockabilly band is playing and all sorts of stuff. But then he's the house band at the motorcycle bar.
Which I feel like dropped, like a missed opportunity is why we didn't have a Fear song in here, because I mean we got the lead singer of Fear.
Right.
But I guess it wouldn't have fit the aesthetic, honestly.
You'd just rockabilly to Fear song or something, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, the whole huge musical end piece, because everything ends with all ends well. Michael Paré walks into the sunset, but we have this huge finisher where we've got the
like
Sorrells have their song and their I Could Dream About You, and
my gosh.
they do that, but then that wraps up. And then Diane Lane comes out as her singing character and her band.
Firing.
And so then they're playing. And then the Sorrells come out as backing vocals and dancing with them. And it's this huge thing. And I kept thinking, oh, they're going to do like, 30 seconds of this. And then maybe it would like fade into the music and the credits. No, it's the whole act. It's the whole
intentional
thing.
I think that.
Absolutely. It is a musical piece.
This is what he wanted, was to have this rock and roll fable story.
Yeah.
And we got it. And it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And terrible and wonderful.
It's not terrible. And, there's always going to be bumps and skitters and things. And, when a studio recognizes that you made them a bunch of money in 48 hours, but they don't believe in your next project, there's that whole thing. You do one for them and you do one for you. And this is the one for you that he was doing. And the studio's not going to believe in it, but you made them a bunch of money, so they'll give you a little bit of money and they'll give you. Absolutely. Yeah. I have no doubt.
The studio was like, nope.
Absolutely.
when they lost a lot of they didn't see his vision. They didn't recognize the talent that he had put forth. And I mean, it's sad. It's one of those things that's going to fall into like cracks of history unless that's why, again, going back to what I was saying earlier, this is why doing what we do is important. Talking about films is because people need to hear about it. And I feel like anytime we can like raise awareness to a movie that people haven't seen or been on a list for a long time, that's how it was introduced to me. It was like, this was somebody in my life that was like, hey, you would love this film. And I was absolutely 100%. Now I went out and bought the Blu-ray with all the extras, and I was excited for watch them all.
Yeah. Well, and Walter Hill was a very prolific filmmaker, still alive.
I love The
Warriors.
Of Warriors is one of my top 100 films.
Yep. Very prolific. And always there's not everybody gets to be a Scorsese.
No.
You want to, you hope you do, and sometimes, magic and talent and a bunch of things kind of all come together and it's great. But, you can have all of that talent and all of that, and all it takes is just being in the wrong situation with a studio that doesn't give you the money or doesn't give you enough time. And, Scorsese is someone now, he can do whatever he wants and people will just kind of give it to him. Not to say that he doesn't have to fight or argue, but, at that time, just like now, people want the things that are going to make them money. Mm-hmm. The studios want to make money. Mm-hmm. They're businesses, and I get that. And directors want people to watch all of their stuff. They'd like to be able to make money too, but they also want to make an art piece. Some people want to just tell these stories, and they just believe in them so much. And you can see the intention and the belief and the passion that is in this film. So while I may not try to notch this thing up to a Taxi Driver and say, "Holy cow, this is a monumental,"
but it's not that.
But it
kind
has
of
its
film.
place.
I feel like to me fits more in the annals of like.
It fits with The Outsiders.
It fits with The Outsiders. It fits with like
does.
And Little Shop of Horrors. Like it has those, like introducing a musical to a film and then still making it work without it being like overly like this is a musical, situation.
Right.
Is to me, I always will love that more.
Yeah.
I like musicals, but I prefer a more like this kind of scenario, like a rock and roll.
This isn't a musical. Like it's not where suddenly the story steps into a different thing. Yeah, the music is an aspect of the environment that everybody is in.
Yeah.
But it's not something where everybody in the environment breaks into music. Exactly.
Right.
And there's a lot to be said for I think that's really tough, and it's a lot to be said for somebody to take that risk in being able to have so much music in something that isn't part of the narrative structure that all of the, because in a musical, the story, the exposition is moved on by the songs that they are singing, as opposed to the music that is within the environment that's it's not directly driving the scene, but is complementary to what is happening.
Yeah.
This movie is a big swing on a smaller budget, and I'm super happy that I watched this. It was really good. It was a lot of fun to watch.
I'm glad you watched it. I wish we got to watch it together, but time constraints.
Yes, sometimes the universe works against us.
We busy.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
boy.
Our next movie,
yes, is your pick.
We did get to see,
which we did see in 35 millimeter
at a movie theater, the Hollywood Theater, the greatest movie theater on earth. We got to see that one. Yeah, we were both there at the same time when we got to see this movie. Holy cow!
What do we see, Martin?
We're gonna be talking about Heavy Metal, the animated film from 1980. Was this 81?
Yeah.
I think it's 1981.
Yeah.
I think I got that right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when it was, because it's just. Oh man, this film. We're gonna be talking about Heavy Metal, Gretchen.
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like it's a good segue onto that one. From this film.
Yeah, we're kind of hanging in there with the 80s films. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it. So, with that, thanks for checking us out. Please make sure that you like and subscribe, and you can find us on all the social media places as well. And just so you know, we do not have a Patreon. We don't make any money off of this, but we do rely on your support. So if you watch the channel and you like us, please subscribe. Please tell other people about it. Comment about it.
Please comment.
Interact with us about these films. We like to talk to other people about these films as much as we like to talk with each other about these films.
Kind of.
Well, for the most part. I love talking about all these films with you, Gretchen.
You too, Liam.
And I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.